I'm Alex, and my background is in business. My selected topic is tell a story about a data set. Let the data reveal. The goal here was to uncover the reality of how gaming can influence our behavior. My hope was to put my data analyst hat on and think through what questions I want to answer and with the data and how it will matter. The goal is to uncover the reality of how gaming can influence our behavior. I found my data on Kaggle.com. The data set that I chose is called Online Gaming Behavior Data Set. It's an interesting picture. That's from the actual data set. The data set selection. In this data set, you'll find 1,831 records of player gaming behavior with 13 features covering demographic information, gameplay patterns, and engagement metrics. One warning I noted was that it said that the data appears to be synthetically generated for gaming analytics research purposes only, so take it with a grain of salt. The purpose, the data set is for player behavior analysis, engagement prediction, and gaming industry insights. This data set can be used to understand player preferences, predict churn, optimize game design, and target marketing strategies. Although those were not things that I focused on. The most notable features in the data set to me are player age, hours played, and the number of times played per week. That's what stood out to me most because I was looking at this from a different angle. Uh, Basic statistics, the mean age is 32. The mean hours played is 12 in a week, and the mean for the number of times played per week is 9.47. Um, I'm going to describe the mean for certain categories. The mean is the sum of all the data divided by the count in the data. For example, you will add up all the ages and divide the number of age by the total number of individuals, and that's how you get basically the mean, the average. For player age, average age 32, the range was between 15 and 49. Personally, I am shocked that at this age range, I wasn't playing games at the age of 32. Hours played, average hours per week, 6.91, almost 7 hours per week. Range of time 0 to 24 hours. This to me seems excessive to invest so much time into something that doesn't pay you back in dividends. Number of times played per week, 9.47 times per week. So a range between 0 and 19. This begs the question, why are people not playing just once per day? That was my thought. Why is it so much more? Here's a table of what it looks like for the data set. Um, Take a look at that. Insights. For me, what stood out was the session duration. Machine learning provided certain insights. The thing that stood out the most was session duration. The game choice here has led to high levels of time per session. I found this data set to be difficult to gather insights from in the way that I expected. Again, I was looking at this from a different angle. My goal originally was to show how gaming can be addictive and lead to time waste, but this data set was more about correlations between age, gender, time, purchases, difficulty, player level, etc. You'll see in these graphs that right here in the middle, average session duration minutes is quite high, and that's where I gained my analysis from. Let's tie it all together. What does this all mean? Um, It's surprising. It's surprising how much time a person can invest in playing games. It is apparent engagement is at an extremely high level when it comes to playing games. This is obviously by design. This data set tells me that the gaming industry has cracked the code on manipulation. That's just my opinion. In conclusion, this data set reveals that gaming does indeed influence our behavior. We seem to willingly put ourselves at the mercy of the game creator. We buy the game, we pop it in, and we start playing. Are we just in it for the dopamine hits, or are we getting something valuable out of it? Is my question. Here are my references. The first link is the data set, and then the other two links are notebooks with analysis that were done. Um, Again, in conclusion, my analysis here is that I'm not naive to think that gaming is all bad. I played games in my life, of course. There can be benefits that may outweigh the consequences. I would love, though, to hear your feedback. Does the average time invested sit well with you? Let me know.